Robotics has been around in the manufacturing world for some time, and a new age of robotics are slowly taking over conventional jobs. As we focus on trade wars and political agendas, big corporations are already one step ahead trying to figure out how to cut operating expenses with full automation. And it's pretty obvious that the majority of corporations out there primarily focus on profits in the end. And without any kind of regulation, this could lead to a very alarming age for the next generation growing up. Does this mean that there will be less jobs, or will there be a shift in where jobs are created? It's a great question, and I think it's something that we should think about right now. Now, my overall assessment of this whole situation is that I do think that it's great that robots are replacing some human jobs out there, but I think that there should be some sort of limitation to how many jobs robots actually replace. Anyways, that's enough of my personal opinion, and let's get into some incredible working robots, which I actually think are pretty beneficial. Beginning at number 7, the Line Ranger. Hydro-Quebec developed a robot to inspect transmission lines, which is certainly not the most attractive job out there. Conductor bundles present mechanical issues for robots, so the Line Ranger was designed to sprint across obstacles with ease. It can inspect roughly 20 kilometers of lines a day, and that's without interfering with the power transmission, since it can operate on live lines. And it does have a distinct advantage over drones, because it can go several kilometers on one charge, and it's very user-friendly. We get to number 6, and it's the SnowBot. This may not intrigue everyone, but anyone who has tried to clear snow in minus 30 degrees will have a level of appreciation for this machine. Powered by a 37 horsepower Vanguard engine, the SnowBot is given a series of GPS waypoints, and then it plows its way through with its own path program. It also has 2 LiDAR sensors and 6 cameras in order to detect obstacles in its path. But if it was me, I would probably just park my 15-year-old car in front of this thing anyways, and see what happens. Now, the SnowBot is pretty expensive, and it's around 36 grand, so it's not exactly the most practical thing out there, and I'm going to have to stick to my shovel in the wintertime. We get to number 5, and it's the SwagBot. The University of Sydney has already developed many different types of robots. The SwagBot is yet another agricultural machine which can autonomously detect and spray weeds. And in this case, it eliminates a tussock, which is a pretty invasive weed in Australia. The ACVR team has also built another robot which can run for 24 hours, and it's still in a prototype phase, but it can autonomously weed through plants. Ultimately, the team has developed a pretty impressive and accurate algorithm, which is good for agricultural work. At number 4, the AnyMole. Now, I do admit that this is a bit like the Spot Mini, but this one is still fairly impressive, which can perform industrial inspections. Driven by fully torque controllable actuators, the AnyMole adapts to any terrain, including stairs. It has side cameras and LiDAR detection, so it can autonomously move around in complex environments. The robot can also be remotely controlled and monitored, so your boss can now micromanage your every move. Whether that's a good thing or not is debatable, but ultimately it's a good thing that this robot cannot do every human job just yet. We get to number 3, and it's the ominous digit. I'm going to be honest here, I added this one in just for fun and debate. I can only imagine a bipedal robot walking up to your door with a package, and personally, I would be holding a shotgun just in case it asks where Sarah Connor is. On a serious note, the Digit can carry 40 pounds, and it has a fairly robust obstacle avoidance algorithm. It's definitely not the fastest robot out there, and it's definitely not comparable to an Atlas robot, but there is one thing I do like about this robot, and that is the fact that it's going to be for sale, and that means that users can find broader applications for it and even modify it. And that's always good because you have a diversity of ideas now going into this bipedal robotic technology. But ultimately, I will never trust these things, no matter how much development goes into them. That's number 2, the Handle. Boston Dynamics has revealed yet another ominous robot which can take over the warehouse. The newer version of Handle has an onboard vision system to track pallets, and then it can move boxes thanks to a suction gripper. The robot can pick up a hefty 30 pounds and reach over 4 feet. The machine can articulate in 10 different positions, and it's quite large at over 6 feet tall, so you don't want to mess with this thing. So here's a prime example of a robot taking over a human job. Now for me, I personally worked at a warehouse, and I'm not actually too disappointed to see this job being overtaken. We get to the great number 1, the firefighting robot. Mitsubishi is pretty adept when it comes to developing new robotics. I actually do like this one, as it's built for getting into situations deemed too hazardous for human crews. So it's a great application for our robotic counterpart, at least until it goes rogue. This is basically a system which includes a reconnaissance and surveillance robot, which directs the water cannon. Integrated GPS and laser sensors allow the robots to drive themselves basically to the fire and put it out. The cannon can shoot 4,000 liters at 1 MPa, so it's a formidable firefighter, but it cannot replicate everything a firefighter can do, specifically when it comes to search and rescue, so it has quite a ways to go to deservingly get labeled as a hero. So once again, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel.